All right, we're live today. I hope you're doing well. It's the day before Thanksgiving, so I anticipated being kind of slow today, to be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm going to be really focused on answering a lot of questions today. So we'll see how this goes. Hola, hola. Oh yes, my name is Jeff. It's Jeff. Good morning, brother. Good morning. So, my man Scotty O, old man Scotty O, my personal really good friend and mentor, made a good point today in the chat. He was just saying that liquidity usually dries up in the afternoon. So, these trades today, if you're trading momentum, just know that and prepare for that and just expect smaller ranges or expect to get out much sooner than normal. We saw that yesterday because there was a lot of small caps that reclaimed, and that usually starts to happen when volumes just dry up because it's easy for things to push up when there's not a lot of participants. So just keeping that in mind. If you're watching on a live stream, I pretty much made it. All you got to do is subscribe, and you can easily chat once you subscribe to the channel. It's free. And if you want to talk like people are right now in Discord, all you do is join the free Discord. The free Discord's easy to find. It's in any YouTube video in the description. Or you just go to my website, bethetrader.com. And I'll post that here just in case you guys want to join that. It's completely free. And let's see. We got ourselves a busy day, brother. A busy day, I guess. We'll see. We'll see if it's busy. I meant busy on like other things. I'm over here looking at my to-do list. So these are my main watches. The overall market right now is still bullish. It's definitely bullish. And then let's see. Yes. There's no doubt that we're bullish. No doubt in my mind. Everything looks great. We'll see if 100,000. I think, we had a little fun vote in Discord if this week will break, and so far it will not break. So whoever voted with me and saying it will not, hopefully we're the winners by the end of this week. The B list has gotten smaller because I deleted a lot today. There's just a lot of things that aren't setting up anymore. So my main watches, again, are the A list. However, SMCI is an interesting play for me because it could become a swing trade, a smaller time frame swing trade, not like a daily, but more so a smaller time frame swing trade. There's a key area here that I like at 34. Could become a nice area of support and a potential area of buying. Again, we'll see what happens. If it does get here and it shows some nice signs for me, I will get long and probably anticipate selling at 36.50 and 39 and then looking for a breakout to continuation. Why am I even interested in this in the first place? Look at the weekly. I actually swung this not too long ago. This is a key level support on the weekly. We had a breakout pullback. This is not really showing a bear trend. This is the trend right now. So we got a pullback into support with a fake breakdown, which I actually went long on this day right here and took half my gains off up into this resistance. And this resistance is right into, if you look to the left, is all in this consolidation. So I took half off here, and it's also in the previous day. If you look on the hourly and so forth, you'll see there's a downtrend line. So I took a lot off half, and ended up having a really nice day that day, and then took the other half for pretty much break even, and then it tanked. And so it reclaimed, which is really beautiful. And I miss this reclaim because if you look at the 4 hour, this was the signal. We reclaimed the key level. So I missed that. And yeah, I just completely woof. You know, it happens. You miss trades all the time. And matter of fact, shout out to my wife. She was telling me about KODK for the longest time. She was like, I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. And it was around 3. And I was like, hey, you know, it's just not for me. And then it squeezes. She's like, I knew I should have bought it. And then now it's at 7. She kept on saying, maybe I should buy it now. And I was like, that's up to you. So again, you got to stick to your own plan. You got to stick to your own, what you see, what you've been experiencing. And that's what trading is. It's not about what one person says versus another, because this is a probability game. Nobody knows what's going to happen next. I don't give a shit who they are. I don't care how much money they made. It's all relative anyway. So understand that. But today, let's see, Kodak is on my radar. We're at a key level on the daily. You can see here, and I found that also in the weekly. The weekly was even prettier. And if we go to the monthly, it's very obvious, right? That's a key level right here. So I'm watching this 750 zone to see if we can start to build support. It's pre-market right now. There's some decent volume. We got 1 million shares traded, but I'm not just going to make a decision right at the open. I want to give it some time, see what happens, see if we get some follow through, see if we get some volume, really is what I'm talking about here in terms of follow through. I need to see some good volume. If I don't see that volume, I just don't care about it. And today's, I'm going to be very, very picky because I know that it is going to be typically a slower day. And so because of that, I have to be a little bit more conservative. Let's see about Zena. I like Zena too. I got to be a little bit more conservative and understand that there's not as many participants. And because of that, most people are driving, most people are flying. They're not, you know, sitting at home trading like me and you watching this. They're traveling, they're doing things. So a lot of participants are not here, which could create just not as much smooth price action. Like structure will not be as smooth in most cases. Again, this is just in most cases. I've been trading for 8 years, and I'm just trying to share with you what I've learned over these 8 years. So that's just the most cases, right? Guidelines. Of course, there could be some that respect perfectly, but I just know from experience that it can be a little bit choppier, not as smooth, not respecting levels as much. So you might have to give it a little bit more room. So just understand that. Zena, I do like this. It's up a ton. I mean, 2 to 12, and then we're gapping down at 10:30. This is one of my setups in the pop trading system. And so if you're not familiar with that, actually been trading that for a long time now and been teaching that here recently. And you can check out the Black Friday deal. It's B Friday. You get 40% off. But if you're curious on what it looks like, just go to last Friday's live trading, Monday, Tuesday, and today, and you'll see how I trade, because I've taken multiple trades over these past couple of days, and you can see how I plan it before. You can see how I plan it how I execute the plan, trade it, and stick to the plan and adjust risk when things evolve. So you need to check that out so you can see how I trade. But if you want it laid out in a course layout with hours of live trading and hours of me going straight to the point and showing you what matters, check it out, because it will expire at the end of this month. I like Dell because Dell's at a key level as well. It's also an earnings play that failed on earnings. We also have this nice uptrend that is now cracking, so we're kind of reversing here. Ideally, I like to see a pop to 130 for potential play, or want to see what happens here at the open. At the end of the day, we had a big drop, right? So on earnings, so it'd be interesting to see if we get continuation of that, which could happen because if you see on the 15 minute, we're actually forming a nice structure. We got a structure here, break, and then we got a new structure here, which is what is super important to me. I always look for structure at key levels. That's pretty much my strategy in a nutshell. Once I see structure at key levels, then I wait for the structure to pick which direction it wants, and then that's the direction I'm going to be going. This right here is looking nice though on the 15 minute. We got some structure. We got some decent volume behind it. It's also easy to borrow because it's Dell. So, but let's see if it does break this, and I do take the trade. I expect it to go to 120.23, which means if I do, I don't want to buy. I don't want to short a 122 break because then what does that give me? That gives me best case $2.50 of reward. And I'd have to risk the structure, which would be 26. So 22 to 26 that's inverted. Like, why would I take that? So I wouldn't take that unless we get a pop, right? If we get a crack and then a big pop, then maybe I take that. That's the idea. What's up, Agraz, Atanas, B-Fly, FTT Trades, Halamiz, Sam, IM1. How y'all doing? Good, man.
Doing all right over here, just like you said, looking for lower volume today, so nothing crazy.
Yep.
But I also been trading a lot of first green days, and they kind of died the last couple of weeks. So I'm trying to just, adjust quicker than I haven't adjusted as quick as I'd like to, but I'm definitely working on it.
That's good though, man, that you recognize it, and if anything, just downsize. Well, until it comes back, until it starts to work.
Yeah, exactly. And one of the things which is funny is I trade the same way amongst across the whole chart. It's just a matter of really moving my plays, to 50% gains as opposed to, holding 50 as opposed to only holding like 25 or so, or, more third day surges. But yeah, I've kind of just been a little bit uh, trigger shy now. But again, it's better than playing and losing before I get my bearings.
Yep. If you're trigger shy, just trade. I mean, I know it's some people just don't get this, but I swear to God, man, if you just trade like, don't even trade. Like not don't trade to make money. Just trade like 10 shares, one share, just to kind of get the trigger, just trying to get the confidence back. And then because then you're focused only on process. You're not even focused on making money. You're just focused on, is this a good entry? Is this a good trade? And then you start to see it work, and then you can start to size back up.
And then obviously not, it's not the beginning for me. So you get it real quick, and then you can jump back in because you get
Yep.
that comfort. That's a great point. I like that. Thank you.
Yep. No worries. A lot of people, I mean, there's a lot of pro traders that I know who do that, and they do that regularly. Like they'll downsize 10th of their size. But to you and I, or to new guys who look on Twitter, if they post, they might have made 1,000, but that's like super small for them. That's like a 10th of their size. So, like, that's just to get perspective there.
Yeah, this morning I was watching IMG, and I just love that 112 level off of October 31st, and it also was a level from a couple days ago that held. And I didn't, one of my buddies actually did take the trade. I think he took it at like 114, just for a move, just maybe like a 15-cent move or so, and it wound up making it. It made it, but at least that was one I watched now to get confirmation that I could, look at those plays, especially with all the volume we did yesterday. And a lot of the volume was done between 140 and 170, so I'm figuring, there'll be some resistance up there, which there was.
The which was the ticker?
IMG, it looks like they got heavily shorted at the end of the day because it definitely, so I definitely think there's some shorts in there. I would assume.
Oh, interesting. 115 million traders. It was a midday squeeze. Oh yeah, that's pretty interesting.
But it's holding that dollar level, then that dollar 12 is a significant level, so that was what I was kind of looking at. But I also was, getting myself set up for the day. So if I can't set up a hard stop, which has really worked for me well. And I'm going to be looking around at other tickers to get ready for the day. I'm not willing to take that and risk a 10-cent drop and screw up my whole
Yep.
bar.
Yep. QMCO has completely evolved, which is really cool. I went over this yesterday, how it's one of my setups, but then it evolved, and I didn't take the trade because I noticed that it was setting up differently. And you need to watch that, how things change. If you just learn my pattern and just take that and try to run with it, you're not going to be successful because there's nuances of trading, which is why I break everything down and the nuances during these live trades, but also the live trades get in the course. Like I talk about how I adjust the not the plan itself. I always stick to the core plan. But if price action changes completely and structure changes completely, you can't ignore that. And that happened here yesterday. We actually had structure form near the open, and it held this so perfectly, which created a nice downtrend. And at that moment, I was saying, you know what, it's no longer a short, and then it just squeezed ridiculously. And so now it's potentially more of a long, but now we have this little W forming. We have this trend line that's being respected very nicely. So if we start to crack this, then I'd be more interested in potential play on the short side. And that's why I'm watching QMCO. Zena, I'm watching this because, again, it's overextended. And at the same time, we're going to see what happens at the open. I need to see very clear price action today. If I don't see clear price action, I am not playing anything. And I know some of my not worst days in terms of large percentage losses, but worst days in terms of frustration are days before holidays and days that are during FOMC meetings or when Powell's speaking. So I know that. So I never trade when Powell's speaking that day in terms of large caps and mid caps. Small caps, I'll touch. It's not a big deal. They don't give a shit about that. But on holidays, I am very picky because I have just generally, it's much harder to trade because the moves are not as clean. So we're going to be patient, just like we have been on every day, but this day will be a little bit more patient. What's up, Fabio? What's up, Scotty? What's up, Goodman192? Good morning, good morning. What's up? Which one? UMAC. I don't have a play for myself on this. It's just squeezing. I don't really have a setup, so but I do see that squeezing. It is a blue skies kind of play, but it's not a play for me. I don't really see anything yet. I do like that we're up from 5 to 11, so that is 100%. But at the same time, it's also blue skies, and this is the first time I'm seeing the ticker, and I don't really like this price action. This price action on the daily is very whiplashy, and so it's just not very clean. I want to see it get cleaner before I even anticipate a trade. If anything, also, it's just straight up. So there's a good chance we're going to get a really nice pullback, but there's no structure. So I could see it just coming all the way back down. At the same time, I could see it hold this level too. So because of this, just both sides, and I have no clear indication, I just don't see a play for me. We're waiting for the open. Good morning, all day, man. Channel, Victorious, Ezo. What's going on? Victorious. The my pop system is. I'm very simplistic trader in terms of I keep it. I look at trends and daily key levels only, and I trade and teach at those levels, and that's it. It's very to put it in a nutshell. That's how I don't use any indicators. I don't use at all. I don't use VWAP, anything. I just use price action because price action is king. Price action is what is actually happening. Indicators are laggers, and most people who use them, most people, not everyone, because I have friends who trade full time and they use one indicator or two, but most people use indicators as a crutch because they're not sure what to do and they need extra help. And those laggers indicators will get you to take late positions and then you get frustrated. That's from my own personal experience, and I've seen it in a lot of traders, and they just rely so much on indicators and they forget that the price action is what we should pay attention to. And indicators, sometimes you'll see something that says, great, you should go buy it. But the price action is in the structure, which is king, is telling you, no, we're still bearish, and you're buying something into resistance. So that's why I focus on just clean price charts. You'll see my chart. There's nothing on it except what I draw. And that's how I trade every day. The people talking loner, no, it's free Discord, brother. Anyone could join my Discord. You can talk too, man. Just be respectful. I put the link earlier. Just scroll up, you'll see it, or just go to bethetrader.com. Bethetrader.com. Can I just type that instead of just saying it? Like, it doesn't bring the link up, but if you go to bethetrader.com/resources, here, let's try this again. I got to type in apparently HTTP. You'll see the link to the Discord. No, all day. I was never part of True Trader. Never. And good man, that's bullshit. No one knows what happens next. Sorry, brother. Nobody. Not even me. Nobody. Man channel squeezing farts. BCIG. Yeah, I don't see a play for me on that one, but it's just squeezing people. Daily levels are, I use every time frame, and I'll walk you through that on every trade I take and the live commentary and live trades in the course. So sometimes we'll focus primarily on the weekly because the weekly stands out so much like a sore thumb than the daily and the hourly. But I go from monthly, weekly, daily, hourly to the 30, 15, 10, 5, and all of that matters. Like, if you just focus on one, you're not seeing everything. And there's a reason I do that, and we go into more detail in the course. But just a short answer is because I want to see where everyone is looking. If just the people on the daily are watching the level and then we have no one in the 5-minute watching that level, then that's a problem. But if I get all the people, because a lot of new traders just look at 2-minute, 5-minute, 10, 10, 15, 30, hour, and they just stick to one time frame. And that's their biggest weakness, in my opinion, because then they get so lost on that one area instead of seeing where everyone's looking, because that's where you get the most moves. I trade equities. I don't trade options, and I trade all equities. I don't really trade this SPY. I use it more as just like looking at it to see what's happening. I can trade it. I just don't really trade it. I mean, I really don't know why I don't trade it, to be honest. I just don't. Thanks, Agras. Appreciate it, brother. All right, market's about to open. I'm going to get quiet probably for a while. So if I don't answer any questions, just know my priority is my own trading and my own money. So just know that. And when I get more free time and space, I'll answer more questions. Good luck, everybody. Remember, it's not about winning or losing, it's about sticking to your plan. Stick to your own process. Dell seems to be respecting structure so far. I ideally would love for this to build some structure intraday on the 2 minute or 5 minute right here, and then pick a direction. So I may miss it, but we'll see. And overall, though, I could see it failing here. You'll learn over time. If this is your first time watching, I'm a very patient trader, and I wait for the best, in my opinion, and that's just my style. But I could see a case like, maybe I take an entry here, but I would risk wide at first because I need to see better indication. But I do see that it could be breaking. Ideally, I'd like to see now like another pop to 125, 126. SMCI is pulling down to the 34s. I'd love to see what happens as we get closer. Zena is popping. I want to see it test 8. My first alert just went off, which is BBWI. Dell has SSR. It's not a big deal to me, but that just means short sale restriction. It means you have to short on the ask and not the bid. I'm going to add this one to my list, take it off the B list since it's at a key level. Dell's the primary watch right now. Zena. Looks like we're pulling down. Let's move this down. Just checking if there's any shares to borrow on Zena, which there are, which is great. Cobra always takes care of me on that. And not just me, anyone who signs up through me through Cobra, they get the best deal, 33% off, commissions for life, and other things. So check that out. UAVS testing and holding right now the breakout level. Still Dell is my number one watch. SMCI ideally a bigger drop to 34. Now I really want to see what happens at 2250 area. So we'll see what happens here. Again, my thought is, are we going to continue this type of pattern? Right now we did consolidation, boom, break, consolidation. But now we're at a key daily level. So this is different. This is its own level created. That's why I made it a dotted line like this, a thicker one. That's just for me. That's like, so I know these are daily levels. And these are just like intraday levels that don't mean too much to me. Like I don't give that much weight. And so this is more important. If this was a daily level, I would have taken this trade because we have a structure, break structure. So, but this is the daily level that I play off of. So, there's a lot of liquidity usually here that want to buy on these panics where people are selling. So I'm just waiting to see what happens here. Do we build structure or do we just like melt? And if we melt, it is what it is. You missed the trade. Zena is testing 8. Ideally, we get a big wash to like 770, and then I start shorting pops. Right now, it looks like I'm more short biased today. I do long also very frequently. As you know, this is a potential long, and I also teach those in the course as well. The secret I have found over the 8 years, so I've been trading for 8, right? It took me 3.5 years to find literally anything that would make any type of money for myself. And then after that, I've been interviewing. I started interviewing successful traders who make multiple 6 figures to 7 figures and 8 figures a year. And I've had a lot of private conversations behind closed doors because as you realize, you build good relationships with these people. And you can watch the show, subscribe to it. Every Monday we air a new episode of interviewing someone else, different strategies and so forth. We do shared screens. We also do stories. So it's something you should check out. But I put everything I've learned over these 8 years, from even the people I've talked to behind the scenes, into this course. And in the course, there's a bonus in it, especially for the early birds who bought earlier before it released. Thank you, early birds. Appreciate y'all. They got all of the free content from all of the other teachers I brought into the course to teach as well. You can get that as a little add-on if you check it out. But the reason I did that is because I want you to see there's so many ways to trade. But what I've learned, I've interviewed people who have 20, 25, 30 years experience. The best ones, hands down, they are super patient. They're okay missing trades because they truly know the next best trade's around the corner. It will come. They're not the traders who are like, I got to trade every second, every day. Those traders, they might make money, sure, but they're not going to be the leaders, right? And the ones who are very experienced, who are trading every day, there's a secret to that. Let's just say they risk normally on a badass trade. Just for context, let's just say, keep it simple, they risk $1,000 for the best trade ever. Of course, a 7-figure, 8-figure trader is going to risk, 100K. But let's just keep it at 1,000. They're risking $1,000 for the best trade. And then every day when that trade's not there, if they can't be super patient, they have a trick, which I adapted myself. They downsize 1/10 of that size. So now they're risking $100 max on a trade, maybe even less than that, because they're not trying to make money. They're just trying to get a feel for different stocks until they see the one that's like, that's it. And then they hit it with $1,000 risk. I just wanted to share that with you because a lot of people just see people trading too, and they don't also understand like, well, I thought you got to be patient. They are. They're just being patient in a different way that you don't understand. What's up, Eric? Hey, Sandra. Hola, Sheffy.
Hi.
What's up, Blue Cat, Anton, Bionic J, Sir?
Good morning. Hey, Blue Cat, how are you? Happy
I'm
Thanksgiving.
good. Thank you. I'm watching VCIG.
Oh, I knew you would because I'm watching it too.
So good.
VCIG. Oh yeah, that's the one someone just mentioned earlier. And yep. Mm-hmm. QMCO surprised a lot of people yesterday.
Oh yeah, including myself.
I'm surprised I missed VCIG.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
Me too. I'm actually disappointed.
Yeah, you should be.
I'm disappointed you missed that. I think you need another phone for your screen space.
I would have
I
missed
feel
it too. I was just literally sitting in front of my computer and then Owen brought it up and I'm like, oh yeah. But it wasn't that obvious. I don't think it even spiked that much.
it didn't really spike that much. Did it even? It did 100%, I think, right?
So right now, what I'm noticing on this is I really need to see structure, because if you look on the 5 minute, you'll see how I use all time frames. I do like that with a pull, a wick, a pull under 2250, which is what I want to see. But in the 5 minute, that pulls a wick. So we got a wick on both sides, and this is more important level to me. This is a way more important level to me. We'll make it yellow. So I don't want to touch this yet, short or long, until I get a clear sign. So now I'm looking for some type of clear sign. Ideally, we build some type of structure here. I wish I could. I don't know how to scroll to the. I know how to scroll to the right where there's no candles, but I don't know how to bring it back. So I'm not going to do that. But what I'd like to see, just bear with me, is some type of structure like this. If we see like structure form right here, ideally, and then it picks, maybe goes up, then maybe I'll go long. Maybe it breaks down, then maybe I'll be going short. But right now, I don't like that the 5 minute did this, because at first I was like, maybe I'll short on this pop, risking above here, because structure is here in some way. But again, I have to respect these levels, just especially if price action is respecting those levels, or else look at the 15. If the 15 closes and wicks as well, that's going to be not very good for anybody until we pick a clear direction.
Hey, Halloween. Sorry I didn't respond to your message. Yeah, I'd love to chat and hear about your strategy sometime.
Yeah, sure, man, no problem. We will get to.
It's okay, Sydney. Come here.
Did you CLNR today?
Say that one more time.
CLNR. Did you do anything with it?
I'm sorry. I still didn't hear you. One more time.
What's up, everybody? What's up, Marco, Loner, Sam Yip, J Yachts, GE Yachts? Welcome to the show. Appreciate y'all. If you're liking this type of content where I've traded live and this is your first time here, just know I've been trading live. A long time ago, I did it for like 2 months straight, and it's very challenging to do in front of a lot of people because number one, it's just challenging, period. Trading's tough. But then number two, you got people's opinions coming in because trading's about your own opinion, your own focus, your own plan. And when I was newer and just now getting profitable, I was trying to stream, and it's very difficult. So now when I stream, I'm really focused on my own trading. So if I don't answer questions, just know that, because I'd like to continue streaming in the future. So if you like this type of content where I am streaming, make sure you hit that like, make sure to subscribe, and it entices me to come back. If you look at Friday's stream, Monday and Tuesday, you'll see live trades, me planning before I enter and enter the trade. Today, it might be slower, so you might not see that. But I want you to know it does happen, and I am a very patient trader, so I'm not someone who trades every second. But know that patience does pay in the long run. So if you like that type of focus, who's someone who's focused on process and not the profits only, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you like those live trades, go watch them. If you like my strategy, like how I trade, and like how I explain things, because we got to vibe well. Check out the course, Pop Trading System. I put tons and tons of hours, like hundreds of hours into that course, and tons of live trades. I'm talking a lot of live trades with live commentary, with all my strategies in detail, because I really want to show you what I've learned over the past 8 years. But check it out. There's a Black Friday deal. You just got to use promo code BFriday. So questions like, how much share size are you doing? That is irrelevant to him and irrelevant to everyone. So what you'll see on my show and what I focus on is process, right? So in this case, I focus on R's. So whatever my risk is, you'll see when I'm down 1R or up 2R, 3R, or down 1R, 2R, and so forth. And the reason I do that is because too many people out there are so focused on money, and that's why you'll never be successful, because you're comparing yourself to everyone else. The reason I make it R is because it's relative to you. So if you want to risk $10, that's your 1R. If I want to risk 1,000, that's my 1R. If I want to risk 1, that's my 1R, right? At the end of the day, you need to focus on your own risk tolerance and what you're comfortable losing. Because if I risk, let's say 2,000 in one trade, and you're like, oh, maybe I should risk that, then that's not good. And if I make 1,000 on one trade, or I make 300, let's say 300 becomes my 1R, and you're like, wow, I only made $10. And let's just say you made way more. You made 3R, but you're too busy comparing yourself. So if you're for that type of lifestyle, you can leave. I'm not trying to be rude, but I just want to be honest and upfront. You'll never get that from me.
Average on CYCN. I took a 2.59 average on IFBD. I already mentioned TRNR. I took a $1 average on HWH, which I had a hard time getting filled on, so I'm surprised I got filled on that. Probably it spiked at market open. Yeah, it did. And then KXIN, I got a full half, but then a partial half. So my average on that is 2.47.
SMCI was a nice little dip buy. It didn't go to where I want it, but now it's pushing up. Zena held 8 perfectly. So still waiting for this structure to break down. And right now it could end up starting to squeeze because I'm sure people are shorting thinking it was going to break. And we got this wick, so we could start to get a push. Dell's still my priority. I want to see what happens here. Look, like we're still holding structure. This is not broken structure yet.
So are you long or short on Dell?
It could be either way.
Sorry for whoever cut off.
It was the same question, basically.
What's up? Sorry.
We were just asking if you were long or short on Dell.
Oh, what's up, JC? Oh, yeah, it's either way. I'm waiting for it to tell me right now. Ideally, if you just look at the daily, though, we did have a big pull, so there could be more edge on the long side. So we'll see. But it was an earnings pull, so we'll see.
Ideally, what are you looking for, Todd? Is it like
What's up, bro?
ideally, what are you looking for? Is it like the 118 level where there's kind of like cross and support resistance level, like on the daily?
Are you watching the stream?
No, I'm limited in voice. I can't figure out how to get on the screen.
Oh, okay. Because I was showing it on there. Let me.
Oh, YouTube. Oh, that's why.
Yep. If I shared it in the main trading room, but you'll see my levels. I drew them. You'll see them on my screen.
Oh, cool. Thank you.
Yeah. No worries.
Anyone else got plays that they're looking at? Sam, Sandra, Rock, anything?
Hey, Rock. We can barely hear you.
How about this?
There you go.
Much better.
IDOBM did a pop off of pre-market. It's a little extended. I'll probably get stopped out here for a no lose, but I get on free trades and then this push up on
And
a
you're
5 call.
okay. And you're long that one?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. That's like stopping out right now. It's pushing up a little bit. Out, but I'm out for
loose.
Yeah, no lose, basically.
Right.
I'm just impatient watching KDP do exactly what I think it does. So this is having a great pullback and just went for a long. MSTR came back, so this is a nice pullback. And Zena read it, it didn't get back at all. But still nothing in trade at the moment. So I'm not sure that's a sell.
With Zena, are you looking in the short direction or the long direction, Sam?
Short direction. He seems to be
Okay, that's what I thought. I was gonna say it looks like a short.
Yes, sir. I'm watching that too.
yeah. Well,
I want to see that 8 break before I do anything.
Sure.
And then Dell is starting to build more structure, which is nice to see. See this wick right here. Usually, I would back in the day, especially when you're new, you see this breakdown. You're like, oh, it's time to short, and then you forget to look at all time frames and notice that it's just a fake break, especially on the 5 minute. Look at this structure. We definitely held perfectly. You can tell there's a lot of orders down here waiting for that break to buy it back up. And why? Most institutions are trading these large companies, these large caps, at key daily levels. That's where they trade off of. They don't care about anything else, anything fancy. They just use key daily levels, and they're putting their orders out there to soak in the retail traders who are panicking.
done QMCO for a long.
We're just waiting. If you have any questions, feel free to shoot the questions since we are waiting for things to happen. Thanks, JC. I appreciate you. No worries, man. Sorry if you took that to the wrong way. I do have a lot of passion about that subject, so. Hims is moving, you said, Loner? Let's see. Oh, it is moving. It's just not a play for me. I was looking at the other day when we were testing this level, but now we're kind of chopping around and we push. So once it gets choppy like this and messy on the daily, I just don't mess with it anymore. Zena just broke 8. So if we can potentially get a pop, I will get a starter.
Yeah, I like to really try and embrace the system. The old me would have took that short at $9. But like you said, patient, comes with profit over profit, right?
I'm going to wait till this 5 minute candle develops just because I'd hate to see another wick. But I think we're going to be okay. Yeah, I think we're going to be okay.
You mentioned that they just took a position in QMCO.
13.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I find it so hard to read. I actually thought in pre-market already that back up. And yesterday I was wrong on it too. I don't know, but I think in the long run it'll it'll go up again. But it's trading kind of weird. I don't know.
It is like I mean I was wrong about it, like right because I tried short yesterday, and
Yeah.
when I'm looking at the QEBT with move very in the very similar fashion. So my plan basically is once it tests a key level, which it did, and I
I
got a
did.
bomb weight, right? And my strategy, and it comes back reclaim the level, which then that's my entry was. So it did that, and it kind of holding in this area still. So still try to see if it's actually working or not. But as per my strategy, I have to do the same thing every single time, and that's what I'm trying to do. And hope it continues.
Yeah, yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. All the cues, I looked at them earlier, but they should be nice for them to have a comeback.
Yeah, like the QEBT, like I said, it moved very
Oh
similar,
yeah.
and it got the bottom weight. The only difference between MSTR and QEBT is the QEBT had a green bar instead of red bar, and it claimed that level and didn't never really touch that again, right? So my entry was supposed to be 683, and the stop was just a little bit below the weight, and right now it's
Uh-huh.
showing me 5R because the resistance was 770. That's the resistance level, but still holding a pre-market high. So especially an ad, this is the area I'll be adding.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I'm trying to get more size on Zena if we can get a bigger pop. So my idea in this situation right now is I love a bigger pop to the 840 level, which is this consolidation area from all pre-market and after hours. And then I get a little bit more size, and ideally I'd save the rest for the 880s, and I'd risk slightly above 9. And then at that point, I'd be looking for a pull down in the 7s, maybe the 6s. But at the same time, I'm also my time of day rules will come into play much faster today because of just how I know liquidity dries up on a day before a holiday.
Zena, skip my entry, man.
You what? What's up, bro?
Zena, skip my entry.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, and too. Like, I mean, my order's there, but it goes up and down so fast. I don't think my poker has a better gateway than poker.
So I'll review Zena why I'm taking this play. Again, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter in terms of if I'm right or wrong today. And that's one thing you'll learn with trading is it's all about probability, right? I know this strategy works over hundreds of trades. And so at the end of the day, I want to show you what I'm looking for because I took this exact trade on, I think, Friday or Monday, and it ended up working that day, but it could have not worked either that day because probabilities just says that, over hundreds of trades, I will be right maybe 60, 70% of the time. And this type of play is about a 60% setup, especially because it's only 2 days in the row. If it's 3 days, it's about 70%. So after this, like number one, I'm looking for something that overextends multi-days, right? This is day one, is we go from literally the day before is day 0. And I want to see day 0 counted from there in terms of percentage gain, not in terms of the days of running. But in this case, it starts at what? $2, let's just call it. And we go from 2 to 12, which I don't have to tell you, that's a freaking more than 100%, right? And so once that happens, on top of that, I want to look for some type of structure on the daily. And what I noticed on the daily in this case, everything, there's little nuances to every trade. Watch the other live trades and you'll see the little nuances and how this one's a little different. This was a key daily level, which I call blue skies, because we have never broken above this level before. We have never gone higher. You can look at the weekly, the monthly. And so when we start to fill that level and we wick all right here, that's a good indication for me that we're going to be pulling back. And then we have a nice little descending triangle in the after hours and pre-market that's being respected at the open. So once it's respected at the open, I see big picture, we should get a pull around the 7, maybe 6 level. Ideally, it would be like the 650s. But again, this is a normal day. This is the day before the holidays. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. But because of that, I'm going to be a little bit more conservative, right? Ideally, if we get a pull right away to 7, I'm going to cover probably a lot. Ideally, though, now, once we get the trigger, again, structure. What do I look for at the key levels? In this case, because the big picture is the key, right? I'm looking at this structure, and when the structure I saw is this right here. We get a push. We get consolidation, push. Consolidation, push. And then here is when things start to shift. We get a push, consolidation, break, but we're still holding structure. This is structure, right? And then let's just expand this. This becomes structure now. And then we get a break of structure. So once we get a break of structure, that's a reverse of trend in my eyes. So I'm looking to cover at the next structure level, because now, ideally, this would have been much tighter and we could have risked, high a day. But this is not the situation, right? You can't risk high a day. If you do, you can. But if you do, it's inverted risk reward. So ideally, I wanted to see something form, which we did at the open. Because if this just happened at the open with no push to 9 and we just got a crack to 7, it'd have been tough to kind of figure out where my risk would have been at first. Because ideally, I'd have to probably risk the previous highs of like 1040, right? Because that's during the trading hours with a good volume. But because we actually use some of the trading hours during the evening or afternoon, and we use the pre-market, which I normally don't give two shits about, but when we respect it, and then at the open again with volume, we respect it, I then give it value, okay? I didn't have this long line drawn waiting for this to be tested. You saw me trade this. I waited for it to form, and then I drew the line because it stuck out like a sore thumb to me that we have now structure. Look at this structure, descending triangle. So now I'm using this as my risk level, and I'm trying to get size as close as I can to this level before I really size in, and then I want to cover down below. But it doesn't always work. Like sometimes it will stop me out. Totally fine. Or other times I won't get my size, and that's perfectly fine. That's just trading. If you like how I go into detail and why I'm taking the trade, what my plan is, where my risk is, you can see it on the chart, you can see my stops, then you definitely want to check out the course, because I do that on all the trades. I give you multiple examples on every setup, and this is one of my favorites. So I show you the nuances of this setup in detail, because every trade is unique, but the big picture and the guidelines of the setup I give to you also in PDF form. You get my time of day rules, you get so much. So check it out. Limited time, by the end of the month, it's 40% off. After that, it goes back to full price using promo code BFriday. Hey, Sam. Do you, because you're one of the people who actually seen the course, you've seen some of the live trades, right?
Yep, I have.
And I do share pretty much everything when it comes to live trading.
Yep, you went great detail and lots of information. Very clear, very easy to understand.
Well, thanks, man. So I just wanted to let you guys hear from another perspective. I appreciate it, Sam.
No worries, man. Like I'm not getting any kickback, guys. Great course. He's a great guy. Go check it out, man.
Did you get in on this one? On Zena?
No, let's get my order. I try to bring in the entries down to $8 and everything back, so I'm not gonna chase.
No, that's good then.
Yeah, if it pop again, yeah, definitely. I'll try to get in, but yeah, I'm not chasing.
Yeah, I wish it pops again, but if we break 760, it could start to go down.
I'm starting interested in KOTK though.
Hey everyone, if you're watching the show, please hit a like because it does help me reach other people. And it's just a free thank you for doing live, and I'll continue to do more lives. I will try my best to continue. That's obviously that's my goal. But definitely hit that like button and subscribe and share it with your friends who are interested in trading. And especially people who are interested in process over profits, which is why we call it the prop trading system. No worries, Jay. Appreciate you being here. Loner MSTR. Let's check it out. The only reason I don't like Loner is because it's just mid-range. In this like it's just kind of mid-range. Ideally, I want to see it either up here or down here, but really right here before I even want to trade it. But if we look at what you said, and then we zoom in, right? And I look at everything, and so now I notice that we have a nice little trend. So definitely can see that it's bullish right now. We're holding this trend, and we're holding the key level. If you look at this level here, we drew it earlier on the daily, which is just this wick. But if we look at on the 4 hour, we have consolidation here. So, that's not super important now that we see it again. But we do have a trend here that is actually really pretty, and it's respecting, and we get a push with a pullback. So it's a breakout pullback right into the trend line. We got key support at 320, which is very significant to me. So I could see a reason why maybe might buy dips at 340. If we zoom in even further, there's nothing that I see really. I mean, we're going to have resistance up here. And yeah, I don't really like, it's just too choppy for me there. And then we go to 15. Then we go to the 5. And maybe you could build a case for seeing somewhat of a channel being formed, right? You could definitely see a channel being formed here. But at the same time, like I could see a reason for potentially going long in the channel, but then we have major resistance here at 4, which is confluence. This is one of my things my mentor taught me that he loves to trade. I'm not the best at this type of trade, because again, it's mid-range. But this is a confluence zone right here. So if you are long, this is an area where you want to take, I would personally, you do what you want, would take some gains. Or I'd be interested in a potential short if I see some type of resistance, because we also have this daily level right here, right, from the other day. So this is a key zone right here that could be indication of a short or take profit. And we're holding this channel, so I could see why you might be long. However, this channel is not that strong to me, because all right here, look at this. To me, it's nothing. There's like no volume. So I don't really care. Like the weight I'm going to give it is like nothing compared to this. I want to see this at this area, but we don't. So because of that, like this channel is kind of weak. That's why I won't touch it. But this level is significant. This level right here. But this, I don't, now that I look at it more, and this is what I mean, like there's nuances to trading. Like I'm drawing my lines as I'm going down, but then I start to look at it even more. I just don't draw a line like, okay, it's great. Then I analyze it even more, and I see this, and therefore it's not as good to me anymore. But that's just my opinion. Of course, you stick to your own plan, you stick to your own trading. Zena, we're just, sitting here at 790. Not really doing much. Dale, we picked a direction now. Unfortunately, on the 5 minute, it's just a drop pop. No really consolidation here. However, it could become a nice long. I will be watching it for a long, if anything, now. And this is why I don't just short, just because we have resistance. Like a lot of people, including myself, when I first started, would be like, oh, this is resistance. Let me short here. And then it pulls. And then they add here because they were breaking support, and then they get squeezed. So instead, you want to wait, give it time. If you can give yourself permission to miss a trade, I promise you'll start to see a lot more easier trades later. And easy doesn't mean you're going to win. Just to clarify, it doesn't mean you're going to win. Oh yeah, brother Doom. The Texans do smoke their turkey. I think for us, are we doing turkey? We're a little different. We do. I think we do. We focus turkey. Oh my god, do we really? Yeah, I think we do. No, no, we're doing turkey and ham, but on Christmas we do tamales because I'm Mexican, so we like to unwrap something. You know what I'm saying? How's everybody doing? How you doing, Sheffy?
Doing pretty good. Just kind of sitting on my trades. IFBD was giving me a little bit of uncertainty, just because it was coming up a little bit. HWH, TNR, and KXIN are all looking pretty good. Just kind of sitting and waiting.
We are just waiting. What about you, Sandra? You playing anything right now?
No, I'm watching the Qs, like QMCO, QUBT.
What are the chances QUBT is gonna break the 770 level?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was wondering.
Yeah, it's been competitive for the past 20 minutes.
Yeah, I know, I know.
My QMCO is still just consolidating around entries.
Yeah, as I said, I was a little bit disappointed with that one too.
Yeah, well, it is what it is, I guess. I'm also in a short right now, AMGA. It's breaking low today, and let's see if that's gonna fill the gap. If it fills the gap, it will go all the way down to I think $70 level.
Actually took the double bottom on PDYN long. I got in 587. I already took half my position off at 605, and now I'm just seeing if we can get another push here from all that volume we did yesterday.
That's nice. I looked at this earlier, but I wish I would have looked a little bit more closely yesterday. I had it on the list, but then I didn't look for it. But that was quite a push there yesterday in the later
Yeah,
morning.
yesterday was such a great setup. I didn't trade it, but I was watching it, and I just was in awe of the move because I predicted it, and I was wow, I was like this has squeeze written all over it, and she did.
I
But
missed
actually,
it. What did you say? What'd you say your entry was on
me
PDY?
587.
587. Okay. Sorry again for cutting you off.
Oh, don't worry about it. PDYN actually I had been watching for a few days because it just
Lately, Jay, it's been like every day. Again, I run a business on the side too, my show, and it's a lot. I have a team, so I do both. But lately every day we get on open mic and everyone joins and we just shoot the shit and have a conversation. Anyone can join. It's a free Discord. All you got to do is just go to this link right here. I have tons of free stuff here. So, but you'll see one of the first things that's free is the Discord. You get case studies that are free. You get a free journal, so you don't have to pay for a subscription for a journal because it's really high-end Excel journal that I paid like $2,300 for someone to design. So that way I can give it away to all of you guys. So that way you have something that can help you grow when you're new and you don't have to spend money. So just FYI, all that's there. Anyone can get it. I gotta use the restroom. One sec.
PDY and also some trader discount too. Just the rate is stable inside bar. But personally, I don't trade the inside bar trade that structure. So that's just me. So I don't know, but what do you think?
Yeah, we'll see. I might have to. I might. At this point, I'll just cut it entry my other half. But I just every ticket today. I'm just not obviously because day before Thanksgiving. You could see the lack of volume and follow through. Really,
Yep, that's
I
also
think
why
this.
small cap is great because the move volume is still very volatile.
Yep.
Ben, did you say you were in IDAI?
Me or not me?
No, no, no. I think you're not like no Ben.
Okay.
Yesterday I was an IDAI.
Yesterday.
I lost 2R on it on my first entry. Let me look at the chart again. I lost 2R on it yesterday. Oh yeah, I took a pre-market and then lost at, basically at open. And then I took another re-entry pretty close to open. And it was doing fine for me until 6:30 when it started to run up again, and that's when I closed it for another 2R loss. So I lost like 4R. I lost like a whole position on that yesterday. So I was very hesitant to trade it today, and then it was just low volume choppy until about 7:30, and then after 7:30, I just wasn't enthused by it. So no, I did not trade that today, but I lost on it yesterday. Did you trade it at all today?
No.
I know you don't like those sub $1, so.
Yeah, yeah. I don't like them, but it was definitely a great trade in pre-market. But I
Yeah.
had taken off my list because it was under a dollar. But then I
Mm-hmm.
took it back on because it's a lot of times when they go into the 70, 80 area.
What about the sound, Dogon? And just curious if anyone else agrees with him. Just want to make sure it's not blowing your ears out.
So I just started to look at it again if it's doing a retrace. I mean, it was so strong.
Oh shit,
So
that's awesome. C Dub snowing. I wish it was snowing here. Oh, Victorious in Miami. Okay, you need to make sure to come to the meetup. We're probably doing one out there the next year, so make sure to check us out. Oh yeah, crazy by nature. Another day, brother. Another day. You're not in the voice chat today, though, bro. The model is doom your. Oh yeah. I don't really trade indices, Ichiro, but I will. But I just don't look at them, so I guess I don't. You know. Nice, Loner 77. Give yourself permission to miss trades. Amen to that. Sounds fine. Oh, okay. You put sound exclamation Dogon. What do you mean by that? Just curious.
Worth holding.
Good morning, Mr. Rosales. If you guys are liking this content, make sure you hit the subscribe and like buttons. So that way this can reach other people who also may enjoy this type of content. I appreciate it.
Yeah, to what y'all were saying about, like Sam, you said you like small caps and stuff because of there's still volatility even when there's low volume. I really like that too. I think that's kind of something that I lean on a little bit is those low volume penny stock micro cap plays, because once it's kind of moved to a downtrend, um, the low volume tends to keep pushing it down until it gets to a breaking point. But then low volume can also kind of scare me if I don't take profits. So
Yeah, for sure. You have to like stay on your toe with the
yeah,
small cap. That's why I start off the trading with a large cap because there's a lot more room for error. Like give me a lot more time to respond to the happenings in the price action. But in almost like 3 years now, almost 3 years of stay collecting, that the strategy that has to be create consistent. So that's when I took Alex prop systems, and now I'm just consistent. So the first day was pretty good. Second day was half decent. Now the third day I'm using it, it's doing great.
yeah, that's one of the big reasons why I avoided big caps is because there is that sort of room for being wrong, like you said, but that also means that the reward potential isn't there either. I'm looking for a stock to do a 25% move in either direction. And so like you're just not going to see that. You're not going to see like a 25% drop on a big cap. It's just not going to happen. Uh, and then that results
Without an
in,
earnings catalyst, really, right?
sorry.
Without an earnings catalyst, basically a major earnings catalyst, that's really the only time you're getting that, and you're already
Right.
ready for it then. And you don't want
Right,
to be in it
exactly.
then.
Right, but with these small caps, I can get 25% move, pretty frequently, even if the catalyst is nothing news. So that's really been my bread and butter is these really small penny caps.
You're just hitting those technical levels. That's all you need for a springboard, a lot of the time.
Hmm.
Yeah. The market not too bad for me, so I'm canceling all my long orders to focus on short ones. So thanks, Theo. Thanks, Kate. Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking around, but I don't see much else long for me either. I don't short at all, so
All right.
one day I'd love to take them up and down, but I'd like to get the volume thing down to. I won't use the word perfection, but close as I can get, and then work on the other side.
I was the same way too. Like that's exactly my train of thought. I just started, and once something went wrong, and because like I said, it gives you too much extra data. But all my portfolio, I think 98% was portfolio long, and my lose rate was pretty low. I don't think it's much value issue. I think more like a thinking issue, the timing issue. So, but since I took Alex short, it balanced out and it was good. So uh, yeah, you have to be able to adapt to long and short, regardless of what the market gives you, right?
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing. Like you adjust to certain patterns working, and at the end of the day, I really think the versatility of being able to go long and short is great. But you just need to have that major discipline, obviously, and not just just because of the risks on both ends. But like I definitely understand the short side, and that's I said like that's what I love. Yeah, obviously, Alex has gone, you know, over the past year or a couple years or so, he's definitely done more long than he used to. But even before he did that, as I was listening to his podcast, like listening to shorts and learning so much about their entrances, or even Bertani and things like that, just to figure out, whose shares I want to buy and whose I want to sell. It really gives you that um, great look on the chart.
Oh, for sure. And especially like I find that when I'm volume in a stock and I'm looking at the prop trader and seeing what they're doing, and if they are doubling down on the short, definitely I'm gonna start long whatever I'm long in because like there's a reason why they putting that much value into it. That's good. So how do you evaluate my entry and is it still a viable long trade? So like that actually helps a lot too.
Yeah, at least to give you that look and be like, and if you see multiple people doing it, there's a reason. There's a reason there, and then you look back and then you look left and you're like, oh, look at that $80 million volume day at 550 and we're at 547. Like that's just something I should have looked. And that allows you to realize how often you should really be looking left and seeing where you're at on the chart.
There you go. And also like really emphasize like the value of
think that's ultimately, as they say, like everybody's got to build their own system, but we're just taking pieces of every little thing we hear and listen to, whether it's chat with traders or be the trader or anything, any single thing we're doing or any particular trader. How many, whether it's you just get a little bit of risk management from somebody, and then somebody else says, "Oh, listen to this." Which I will say in here, anybody listening, if you've never listened to The Best Loser Wins, I highly suggest it. It's a quick 6 or 7 hour listen on Audible, and it will. I've listened to it probably 3 or 4 times in
It's
the
a
last year.
great book.
It's a
It
great
is.
book.
It's a great. Everyone should listen to it, and all of Mark Douglas's book. Those are must listen to for traders.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't know those two books, you better.
I have a note in my phone with a checklist from all the books that you've put out there, Alex. Like
Cool.
literally, just like in my notes, just one by one to go through them all. Like your top 5 or 10 you put out, like Turtle Traders. I've listened. I think I've listened to all of them at this point, or read. But yeah, yeah. That whenever I'm feeling a little bit like off on my risk or I'm getting a little bit undisciplined,
Yep.
I just throw that on. I make sure I tell my wife I got to run errands today and do at least a couple hours in the car.
Yep.
But it just tells you the value of adding to your winners and getting rid of your losers. That's the biggest point of that book.
Yeah. 100%.
I'm enjoying watching Zena as you've been like kind of obviously, like I said, I don't short, but I'm enjoying watching the live commentary like as you're saying your plan. Or I could be looking at this thing as a long, being like, oh, is it going to bounce here? But you're convicted on the short. It's like there's no way I would even want to look at it that way.
Yeah. I mean, it could. I could definitely lose, brother. I could definitely lose. I don't know what's gonna
But
happen.
I think today is a better day to have conviction on the short than the long. I just feel there's more of a fade, more of a. I mean, I'm sure. Only thing is that I'm sure a good amount of shorts are going to want to cover at the end of the day. So are we going to have any squeezes at the end because people want to get out? That's
Yep.
also a
Yep. Because it's gonna
possibility.
be a long weekend, and that's a really, really good point you just made. Like midday to me today is the close. That's how I'm treating it. Midday is the
Yeah.
close today.
Because like today almost should be a half day, just like
Hmm.
it ultimately is, like you said, yeah,
Yep.
just like Friday will be.
Yep. I treat it like that because I mean there's not a lot of volume today. So
No, I can see tickers that I thought would have been pushing today, and they aren't specifically because of that.
yep. Which is why yeah, this is why I'm
The
just aware.
continuation has been working a lot recently. Like it's been a lot of like holding half their gains, or I've just seen a lot of bouncing off the previous day's highs. It's just been a lot of continuation that we hadn't been seeing in the market, and now that's kind of working.
Yeah, I found yesterday and today a little bit slower too. Monday I had a great day, but then yesterday, I don't know.
No,
It
definitely
just
feels
starts
that.
slowing down, Sandra. That's all.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I wasn't really in tune yesterday.
People going on vacation.
But then I also think I'm always like torn in between. I definitely get this like going on vacation, but then I think also a bunch of retail traders they just have nothing to do, so they start trading more. But that's
Yeah, but the ones who really move the market aren't trading.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No, that's for sure.
I think one of the biggest exceptions is like the Santa rally.
Yeah, because of the tax stuff too, right?
Yeah.
I have predicted wrong for AMD today, almost like 1,000%.
CETX is an absolute dumpster fire of a ticker, but it did just split yesterday and it's AI, so I will keep an eye on it. 750,000 float, or 730.
Oh dear.
Say CETX.
CETX, yeah, it's literally garbage of all. I mean, all they all are really. This one is just a lot of pop and drops, but I wouldn't be surprised if they try and run it, being that it's AI related and it's now under, it's a micro float.
Thanks for the call out. I love shorting dumpster fires.
There you go. You're welcome. Oh, let me get my lighter and gasoline for you.
I'm pretty sure I've traded CTX multiple times. I just can't
Yeah,
exactly remember when.
yeah, that one I know. SNG X's been so many end with X's just have
Yeah.
been so many. We talked about these the other day. I think they're just the pre-market pop and drops.
Yep. Well, is this the pharmaceutical one? Let me
ET
look.
radio. I'll pull it up. Oh. Software infrastructure. No, just
Technology.
manufacturing, digital applications, just a bunch of keywords to sound like
Yeah.
this know what they're doing. But
Yeah. I've noticed a lot of pharmaceutical companies will have an X in their name somewhere, in their ticker somewhere. So,
yeah, yep.
and
I agree.
pharmaceuticals is a great sector for me because they just all go to the ground.
Oh yeah, the biotechs. I mean, I can't imagine. I was talking to somebody about that earlier today. Like somebody that invests long term in any kind of biotech, like that's just like throwing all your money into the OTC and hoping you get the one that goes to
Right.
goes for
Mm-hmm.
$10. It's just I learned my lesson once on a biotech. Somebody gave me like, oh, this one. I was in it. This was like 5 years ago. Think he knew somebody inside. Blah blah blah. The test results were going to be good, and they were not. It only took that one time, and that was before I was really, you know, day trading, like for a while. But yeah, I just don't understand how you can put your money into those companies. But I'm sure most of the shares are probably locked up, and they're people that got in at the bottom, so they're not really losing anything.
Yeah, a lot of the time it's people who got in like even well before the IPO and they've just been in this for years. So as soon as the lockup period is over, they're just trying to sell their shares for as much as they can. So every time they see one of these pops, they're selling into the pop because they want it to they want to get out basically.
So it's
And it just
yeah.
continues to push the price down. Yeah.
So yeah, on top of the people that are and then everybody's getting stuck with the bag because they didn't.
Right.
Um, I had a guy that I'm friends with. He got in on NNE. Somebody offered him somehow, like before the IPO, and he got in at like $1. And this thing has been going, into 30, came back down to like 14, but to him, he's in at $1. So like he's got restricted shares, and then he's already sold all of his unrestricted. But that's an exact example right there. Not that that's even a biotech, but just an example of like getting in early.
Yeah, definitely.
So what kind of indicators do you use in your shorting?
Sorry, I keep muting myself. No indicators, just the chart and volume. And
Yeah.
honestly, like really don't even look at the volume. It's just kind of there. It's all just price action for me. And then my entry and exit system is all math based on the data I've been collecting over the last 3 years. So I just look at the chart, take the key numbers from that chart, plug them into my system, and then it gives me my entries and my exits. So, yeah.
Very cool, man. I like it.
Yeah, I'm very much trade probabilities. I don't necessarily trade like technical support resistance key levels. I don't use indicators, nothing like that.
Very nice. I like it. No, it's nice to hear, and I like Alex say like listen, I've tried indicators here and there, and and you start finding yourself believing too much in them and whatnot, and it's really like I said, like he said, like you said, like when you look at the chart, you see a price action. Price action is king, and um, and there's so many times too where, and I'm not knocking volume because volume is very important, but there's many times that I will take a trade off the daily. It wasn't off of tons of volume, but it may have held that area for like 2 months. So in my eyes, well, even though I'm not looking at volume from that one day where it did hold that level over, say, a month or so, in my head, I'm combining all that volume, and that's becoming kind of more support or more resistance in essence.
Yeah, I get that.
But but I've noticed bounces off so many levels at times where again it wasn't that much significant volume. It's just an area. Uh, how long you been trading for?
I started trading this strategy in mid 2021, so
Okay.
3.5, 3.5 years, 2.5 years.
Cool.
All right.
Morning, Tanner.
It's boring right now, gentlemen and ladies.
Yes,
Good
sir.
morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Tanner.
Guy who wasn't trading today.
Welcome, welcome. It is super slow right now.
About to take off and go take some drone footage of a friend getting us a swim spot delivered via crane so he can post it up on his TikTok.
Interesting.
Not trading. All right.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. Interesante, Tanner. Interesante.
No, he's this pretty big like real estate guy.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
Real estate guy, RV rental, van stuff, sales, all that jazz. Like 30 or 40 mil net worth or something.
ACIaki05. I'm not planning to trade Friday really. It's just gonna be a shit day to me, so I probably won't even look at it. David, I'm new here. Do you have level 2? I don't care about level 2 at all. It's like maybe 5% of the time when I'm trading, I'll look at it and care about it, but most of the time I don't care. I do have it on my screen, but again, I don't care. That's why I don't share it. And I found level 2 is a lot of nonsense for the most part when it comes to my style of trading. So that's why I don't use it. What do you think about MSTR? I was talking about MSTR earlier, dogs, today. So just to go over it real quick, I think we talked about that. Oh, right now, just short version, it's just mid-range. I don't care about mid-range. I'd rather be at 337, ideally 318, or the highs before I make a plan. But I thoroughly went through every time frame to show you what I saw. So make sure to rewind this, especially when it uploads, because I went into detail MSTR for someone else who asked that question. What's up, Dion? I'm long biased, but listening to short perspective helps a ton for me. It's all connected. Yep, C-dubs definitely is. And I also long a lot too, but today it just seems like I'm short biased. Doomlord, your interview with Scott Skoman is a must. Absolutely. That's another Scott who I highly respect. Sitting next to that guy while he was trading, I was talking to him. I had like an hour conversation, just one-on-one. We weren't recording. And during that conversation, we're like literally mid-conversation. We're already like 30 minutes in. And he goes, hold on 1 second. And he turns to the side and starts trading. And then he comes back and looks at me, and we just continue to have a conversation. And I'm like, hey, what happened? And he goes, oh, I just went ahead and took a loss here. And then we just keep talking. I was like, I didn't even know you were trading. Like, I had no idea. And that's how even keel this guy is. And that's because he's been trading for over, 25 years? I think he's the 30-year mark. I can't remember, but definitely over 25 years. And it just shows you, like, patience is king. Like, he wasn't sitting there trying to take his trade. You see how I'm just sitting here letting trades work, letting my alerts tell me where to look because I've already pre-planned everything. So he's definitely a must-to listen. If you guys are here watching live, make sure you hit that like button. It does help me out to reach a lot more people, and I appreciate it very much. It's also just, just click a button, so I appreciate it. Dell is, choppy. It's not really doing anything. We're just stuck in this range. We haven't really picked a direction. And so, that could be a lot of the reason behind that is because there's not a lot of people, not a lot of participants right now. The volume's not that great overall. And usually on these type of days, things aren't great. Now, granted, this is good big volume in general because of earnings mostly, but usually you'll get a much smoother price action on a regular day. Today, as I mentioned at the very beginning, we might get a lot more choppy action, not as clean.
I don't know. I may or may not have heard you say this before, but what's your like criteria when it comes to like float on a short that you'll take? Is there a a minimum or a maximum minimum float that you'll look at?
Are you talking? Who are you talking to?
Oh, you.
Oh,
Say,
gotcha.
like when short, like are you like anything under 10 million? Are you shorting or 5 million? Well, I know you under 10, but like are you
I
looking at that at all when you're deciding that?
I don't look at it anymore. I used to at the beginning. Now I don't care. What I'm more so looking at is the volume that's happening, and I look at that's when I do see level two. Okay, like on small caps, whenever it is, I can tell from level two if it's a micro float. It just looks completely different than any other float, and how it trades, and that's just years of experience. So I don't really look at float anymore. But float doesn't really come into a factor other than one thing. If it's rotating its float all pre-market, I am highly likely going to avoid unless it's like stupid, like it fakes out one side so dramatically that's so obvious that they're wrong, and then I'll take the other side. But that's super rare. Once it starts rotating float, it's a big red flag for me, and I learned that from ducks, and it's huge. It's a huge red flag. So I kind of like to stay away from that until it kind of weans everyone out, because usually when they start to rotate, you'll see wicks on both sides. Every day, like you'll see a wick on the short side, a wick on the long side, faking everyone out, and then eventually, usually in the afternoon, it'll start to ease price action and become a lot smoother, or it stays that way the whole day, and then the next day it becomes smoother. So that's the only time I really care about float.
Gotcha. That's awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. It's a slow day, playa. My son is feeling nah, he's not feeling better. He definitely has more of a cold. He has just mocos just constantly coming out. So he's not feeling better. So that sucks. But it'll end soon. I'm sure it's just a cold. Thanks for asking, man. We're not getting any sleep in this household. It's almost 10 o'clock, which is 11 Eastern. So I'm treating this very like we're getting close to the close, if you will, for me. So, ideally, I need this to start breaking down. If it doesn't start breaking down, I'll probably just cover and be like, it's not going to happen today. What's up? That's all I need.
Yep, that's all you need.
That's
I'll
it.
just put it down.
All I need is just a big boy to come in here and short 1 million shares, and then we're good to go. It's just $8 million. That's all you need.
Just a small $8 million.
Just a small 8 million. That's
Someone paid me.
yeah. Did someone ping me? Did someone call for Big Daddy? Help me, please.
I know a lot of broke people who are very arrogant.
VCIG, C-Dub. Let's see. Let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Hey, Sandra, are you long that? That thing's still going.
What?
VCIG.
No, I took it earlier.
Oh, gotcha.
It's still going.
Great structure, too. Look at this. It's respecting really nicely. Break, pull, break, pull. Probably another break. But that'll be the third break. So we'll see what happens. It's definitely a long. I'll only be long bias on this. Until structure breaks.
What a perfect bounce with that 235 at the open. Nice little cap and drop there.
Mm-hmm. Sucked in shorts right there. And squeezed.
Sorry.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
It's just amazing. It's just amazing how to the penny they could be sometimes, and it's like, why didn't I take that? You know. But obviously that wick, you wicking back up, take a 10-cent risk there and pop right in.
It's always like 20/20 hindsight too.
Yeah.
I see it all the time, right? You look at it, and then you're like, oh, that was so obvious.
Well, what I found. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
No, but then you're in it, or you're about to enter, and it's actually not that obvious at all.
Right.
No, it's really not. I mean, because to us, it's failing. You know, I mean, the wick is great and all, but what I've been trying to focus on myself is that wick is great, but I really have preferred double bottoms at times when I go back and review charts and see things and say, you know what, if I don't get my double bottom with a little bit of a higher low, I don't want it, and because I'm collecting a lot of data on that. I'm trying to really see following that double bottom in a certain situation, that tends to give that conviction where now you will get that move up, as opposed to if you just get that one drop, you're more likely to fail if you don't get that other one. So why not wait to enter, have more conviction, and size in better on the ones you have conviction on, and don't bother with the ones that have more chance of failing. And I'm really trying to work that into my plays.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good approach.
But again, like you said, when you're watching it, that it's just definitely hindsight for sure. How was your free market trading been going?
You know what? It was very, very strong. I think on Monday I had one of my best days out of the year. But yesterday didn't go that well, and today I didn't honestly see that much either. Um, so yeah, I would say it's a little bit mixed lately, and like really, really good days, and then there are just some days where it's just really challenging. I actually started to trade larger caps, but I'm just like dabbling around in it.
Excuse me. What was that? You actually what? Trading larger caps.
Like what? No, larger caps.
Mm.
You know, like Oklo, like mid-sized caps also.
I'm teasing. I'm just trying to take credit for you charging large caps is all.
You won't take credit for Oklo.
I know. I'm embarrassed for that
It's
one.
fun.
Fucking ridiculous. I was so dumb. Oh.
Yeah, no, but seriously, no, you certainly can take credit to a certain aspect. Just getting, I think too. Who said it earlier? Sam, I think. Just a little bit calmer overall. You know, if you look at something like I traded IA and Q quite a bit here and there, and just a quieter pace.
Amit is short with me on Zena. That's a good sign. He likes to. We play very similar setups.
Yep. Now I'm moving my stop to a little bit
Yeah, if it starts to break above 814, I'm probably gonna just get out. Only because if this was a normal trading day, I would not get out. But because I'm treating this like a half day, I will get out. And on top of that, look at this. We built what I always look for, structure. And so we're gonna pick a direction. If we pick long, then we'll probably get a big squeeze over 9. And so it could become a long, especially if volume piles in, which is why I'm being more cautious now. And then if we start to break 765, then we're good. We're golden.
So when it's converting on there, yeah, that's why different stuff but it's still goes away.
Oh yeah. If this is a normal trading day, I think it would have already melted.